Hey there, this is Seth Anapolsky. I'm broker Full Circle Home Loans, and I'm excited today to hang out with my friend and good business associate, Kris Cowen. He's the broker of Honest by Design, so happy to have you, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate you having me. I'm excited to chat with you today, and you guys were a big part of my business. Had a very interesting path into real estate, and you guys were a huge part of that. So
Tell the people.
Yeah, I will. I have been licensed for 14 years, and I really just got licensed to buy my own house. I really wanted to learn real estate more for an investment perspective, but I really had no desire to sell real estate professionally. Frankly, because the two agents that I met were absolute idiots. And that actually happens in real estate, right? So I thought I can do it better than them, and I'll buy my own house. And that was started my licensing process. I have a totally different background in the sciences, and I was comfortable in that environment.
Right.
But it was our conversations and your encouragement and investment in me that actually made a big difference and actually launched me into doing this full time.
So how did we get connected? Do you remember?
A mutual friend of ours actually said, "Hey, I've got this lender and you should talk to him." And I said, "No thanks, I've already got a lender." And he kept badgering me for about 3 months, and so finally I called you. And then the rest was history, and I realized all that I was missing out on by having another lender that really wasn't that involved, that wasn't on the phone all the time, that really wasn't looking to grow their business the way that at that point I was wanting to grow my business.
That's awesome. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I really decided to stick with Full Circle when I realized that the level of service that we were getting, that I was getting from my clients, was absolutely next level. The communication, honestly the lending performance, the ability to get difficult deals done and get easy deals done and get them all done in a timely manner. A lot of lenders fall on their face in a difficult deal. And what I realized early on is that Full Circle is willing to take those deals, and they're willing to even see the difficult ones through and not just the easy ones. And that's very common in our industry is, people are just choosing one or, exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. Now, most lenders really are trying to capture their business direct to consumer, but Full Circle is based upon relationships with their trusted agents. They're looking at the long game and trying to get that type of business relationship and personal relationship built. It's less about the individual client and more about the long-term relationship with business partners, and that's huge for me.
Yeah, but we need each other to be very successful.
Absolutely.
And help our clients more than anything. Well, we've always been, at Full Circle, my mindset is purchase, help clients buy homes.
Yeah.
Help them invest in real estate. And a lot of lenders are refinance centric. I'm not, our team's not. We're purchase, we love seeing first time buyers get into homes and then buy their second home. You help them buy both homes, sell their homes, or and it's just an exciting time. So I know that you have that same vision as Full Circle does, which is huge.
Absolutely. When we both have the common vision that we know that real estate is one of the best ways to become wealthy, to gain wealth in this country, that's starting people out on solid footing with the right purchase, with the right loan, with the right lending circumstance, that all has a generationally positive impact, right?
Yep.
And that's what we're seeing, right? We see we have a mutual client right now, and I helped their parents buy and sell a home. And now we have 23 and 24-year-old clients that are new professionals that are looking to be first-time home buyers, and we're walking them through every step of that.
Yeah. One thing that means a lot to me personally is when a realtor does their own loan, their own home loan financing with our company, because I know there's a million options out there from like credit unions, huge banks, brokers, and when that realtor refers our clients to us, that's great, but when they do their personal loan, that's like such a compliment, and I know you've done that with us several times, so thank you, that means a lot. But why did you pick us with all the choices you had out there?
Yeah, man, I think I mentioned this to you like 3 or 4 years ago, that when I still wanted to be a wise buyer. And I started by giving you my business, my personal business, but also price checking with other lenders. And then I realized once we had done a couple of deals together that it was never going to be better, and the level of support, the level of communication, the level of trust that we had built with one another, that was absolutely critical. It was more important than going to a big bank or going to, some other new shiny object. There's a lot of new shiny objects in lending and in real estate, that they promise X and they deliver Y, and it's really, the consumer can get really tied up in that. But having a deep and trusting relationship with your lender and with your real estate agent is a huge step in the right direction. And that's honestly 90% of my business is repeat past client and referral business. And I know it's yours as well. Yeah.
I love when we get a client working together, and sometimes we don't get to work together, obviously, but when we do get to work together, we have a mutual client. It's fun because we're just in sync. And so, normally what happens with you? You get a call from a client. What do you do? What's the first thing you do? You kind of get to know them, and then what's the path for them to get to into that home?
I send them Full Circle's contact information.
That's right.
It's honestly the first thing that I do. And also, depending on their experience level and how quickly they're looking to move, I will even send them the online application link quickly so that they can get approved and they can get ready to go. It's a very collaborative process between real estate and lending, right? I mean, I do, I'm the one showing them and having that face-to-face client interaction, doing inspections, making sure that we're finding the right home for them, or the right investment for them. And you guys are a lot more behind the scenes, but still ultra critical in that process.
Well, with our clients, we like to help them buy their first home and then teach them to buy more real estate, because 90% of millionaires are millionaires due to real estate. So we want that first-time buyer to think long-term, and I know you have that same vision as well. But we know that as well, my job is, and our team's job is, we look at all their financials, we get them into underwriting, it gets reviewed, we order the appraisal. But what are some of the things you do when you're with this client, assuming they've been approved?
Yeah, once they're approved, we're actually narrowing down their criteria and to actually show them homes. It's a very common, especially first-time buyer misconception, that you have to look at 50 homes before you make a decision on the right one. So when we're purposeful in our conversations and in what somebody wants, what they're looking for in a home, we're actually able to whittle that time down and get them successful at a much quicker level. Our average is to look at 6 homes before people are writing and getting an accepted offer. Wow. So it's really about listening to the client, listening to their needs, their wants, and really starting to whittle down until we find that perfect group of homes that we're gonna look at.
And so for like a first-time buyer, after they've been approved with us, and you get their offer accepted, what's the next step? What do they expect? Like timelines and just what do you do and what do I do?
Yes, well, that's also a point of contention, right? Because sometimes in order to get offers accepted, we have to give sellers what they need, and sometimes that's a quicker timeline, and sometimes that's a shortened contingency period. It really just depends on the market that we're in and the specific desirability of the property. So sometimes we're writing 30-day escrows, but not often. Often you guys are able to perform in a 17 or an 18-day escrow, which really puts us in a higher level of competition, even with cash buyers.
Cash, absolutely.
Exactly. So part of the process is that I know when we have that buyer approved and they are ready to roll, I know that we can write a short escrow, and it does put a little bit of pressure on everybody to do that, but it's really for the client's best interest that we can get them competitive in what has been a very competitive market over the last several years.
And so the last several years, just for people that are first-time buyers and they're not sure, should I buy a home now? Last couple of years, it was so competitive. There was 20, 30, 40 offers, sight unseen on homes, waiving contingencies. Do you think now is a better time because of those dynamics right now to buy a home, even with the market where it's at? What do you think about that when you get a call about that?
Yeah, depending on the specific buyer and their finances, obviously they're all very specific to if somebody should buy or shouldn't buy right now. But I think now is a great opportunity. It's all about the specific opportunity. The market, and depending on the market, the specific area, the market softened between 5 and 7%, maybe 8% in some markets, which gives the buyers a little bit more room on the purchase price and a little bit more room to negotiate with sellers and closing costs and things like that. So,
well, yeah, I mean, we talked about that. You wrote an offer for a client of ours, and you asked for closing costs. You asked for their rate to be bought down for multiple years, and also I believe it was below list price. And I think we're still waiting to hear what happened on that one, but nonetheless, like, those are opportunities there for buyers that put them in a little bit of possible equity position and to fight that inflation of interest rate rising with rate buy down programs, right?
That's correct. Yeah, and what we're finding too with a lot of buyers is that they are paying, especially first time home buyers, they're paying rent, and rents went up 14.2% last year.
Sure, yeah.
Right? So if rents continue to go up, it really makes a lot more sense for people to buy now in the hopes of refinancing to a more favorable rate later on, rather than just wait until all conditions are perfect.
Yeah.
A wise client of mine that is a seller that owns multiple properties as an investor, he said, you'll never hit the bottom. He said, buy when the opportunity presents itself and when your finances and the market conditions are such to where you can get the deal that you want. And I definitely pass that on to my clients.
I subscribe to that too. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris, I know you feel the same way, but for whatever reason, I have like a special connection to first-time buyers. I just love that. I love, that process of explaining things to someone who's not sure, can they buy a home? Can they afford this home? I love walking them through that, helping with their credit and doing things like that and getting them to their first home. And I feel like you kind of have that same process. I love all my clients, I'm sure you do too. I love, everything I can to help anyone get into real estate. And I know that Full Circle has become kind of known for Airbnb, vacation rentals and all that. And that's like easily half our clients, but I love the first time buyer because of our team, the Full Circle team and the Honest Buy design team and other top realtors we work with across the country. But it's okay. Tell me a little bit about why you feel like you love working with first time buyers as well. Like, what is it about that?
I really love working with first time home buyers. I think that there is such an opportunity in this first-time homebuyer generation, whether they are looking to buy a home in their early 20s or whether they're 50 and they're buying their first home. I really see that as the beginning point and the trajectory for their wealth building path. We actually had a mutual client that closed just a couple of months ago, 52 years old. We've been working with her for 4 years on and off. She had financial things that she had to overcome and different things that she had to overcome, and being able to hand the keys to that buyer was nothing short of magical. Right? She's so excited and starting out on her process of wealth building. It does not get old. It's amazing.
Super fun.
Yeah.
Chris, thank you so much for joining. It was so much fun chatting with you. First time buyers, I know we always have a good time. So
Absolutely, man.
Thank you, man. Good seeing you. All right. Chat soon.